I don't know how we got it and how we got to here. And are you on the phone?
I'm on the phone with Brother Dave right now.
Oh, okay. So
The show must go on. Think of it
the
that
show
way.
must go on. Yeah, no. Welcome everyone to another week of Dilem-Monday. I'm alive. We've made it. I can unmute him. He is now unmuted. He is back on the stream. Welcome everyone. We've made it. It's Monday yet again. Are you playing a video?
What?
Someone playing a video?
No,
No.
not that I know of.
Are you crazy? Maybe.
Maybe.
Definitely not me.
I mean, it's just me in here right now. I mean,
It could. I think the devil is haunting us.
All right. Well,
that's good. That's always healthy. So yeah, no, we've oh Lord. I don't know how I'm awake right now. Personally. It was a wild weekend to say the least, and we can get into that a little bit. James, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. Hanging in there. This is the last full week of school, so I am pushing through it.
With you have this, baby. You got this.
At this point, we made it this far.
FTK for the kids.
Yeah.
definitely for the kids.
100%.
Okay, I have a question. How come when I try to go on Dilem-Monday once again, I'm getting somebody else's podcast on the video? I see live, I hit the thing, and I'm on some crazy other person's video.
I have zero idea on that end personally, but
it's like an anime thing that comes on.
Anime?
Yeah, no, it's really weird.
That is interesting.
That's very interesting. But yeah, no, I'm
share it to my page so I can just because I try to go on Dilemma and
I'll make that happen.
Monday and I hit it. Oh wait. Okay, now I'm on.
You got it?
Yeah, it just did not go to before it was on some crazy anime thing. It was weird.
Well, that's good. That's always healthy. So okay, now everyone is now fully settled in, it appears. We're all alive, good and kicking.
Yeah, no. Well,
this is good.
This morning, I was telling James, Corey, and I, we didn't get home till after 2:00 in the morning. Ugh. And my 60-year body is not feeling it. And we have a rule.
My 29-year-old body is not feeling this.
We kind of broke our rule yesterday, Corey. The rule
just
is, but barely we say if we're going to get home after 2, we need to get a hotel room.
Well, that you just edited the rule from if we're going to be driving at 2 or if we're going to be getting home after 2.
Well, get home after 2. We need to do a hotel room because first of all, so it was a much harder day than we anticipated. Saturday we got rained out.
Ooh.
And it was lovely cause. The Rojas family
there
had it was money to raise for these really wonderful family. And they called us really early on Saturday morning saying, "Hey, what do you think?" And I'm like, well, I don't think anybody's going to come today because it's pouring out and there's nor'easters going on. And like, so she asked us, is there any way that you guys can do it on Sunday? And I knew we had a gig later that evening, but it was also in New York. So Dutchess County to go up to the Catskills, it's not close. Don't get me wrong. It's still a 2.5-hour drive to go to Big Indian from where we were. But we're in New York, and going home, it's only 2.5 hours home too. So it's not that bad. But the gig at night was 7 to 11.
Oh God.
So yeah, Corey played 7 hours yesterday. Literally 7 hours. Him and Davey Blues. Davey Blues played guitar for this one. He was able to sub in. Cliff was going to do it the day before, and he couldn't make it because of the switch. But we did get some recording in,
which was great. By the way, if you are listening, whether you're on Facebook or YouTube. You can donate to the cause we were playing for this weekend for the Rojas family. The link is in the chat. You can go there.
Yeah, lovely, lovely family. And we actually had a really cool guest bass player for one song.
Yes. Yes, we
Shout
were
out to Father John.
Father John of Wingdale. Yeah.
He was what I saw this gentleman. He was, he was in full cloth, and everything, but he knew every word to the songs we were singing, and you could tell he was going to be good. And he had given a speech and made a magnificent donation to the family too. What do you give, like an extra the
the Knights of Columbus donated like $5,000 to the cause, which was so nice.
Yeah. So, and then he mentioned, he goes, this is a really good band. By the way, I was a pretty good bass player in my day. So Jack didn't miss a beat.
It's like, hey, you want to play a song? And son of a bitch.
Father John said, I think I do want to play a song. And he's like naming some Jimi Hendrix songs that he wanted to play. I was like, all right, now we got a player.
All right.
And they went with Hey Joe.
Good one.
Great song. And it was a lot of fun. And okay, this dude was good. Like he wasn't just like an average, but when he said he was really good in his day, he was really good in his day. So at the end of him playing, I went over to him because I was very impressed, and I
it's not something that happens every day.
No,
yeah,
no. That's still very cool though.
And it was a super nice man, and it was just such a nice, lovely group of people. Everybody was super nice, and I said, "All right, you're a real ringer. There is no way that you're just I just pick up the bass once in a while. I want the beef because I saw you. That's not an average player." Sure enough, he goes, well, my first calling was music, and I did go to the Berklee School of Music. I was like, okay, now we got it. I knew this guy was good. So shout out to Father John. Thank you for playing with us and being there. Corey got to call him Padres, so he was super happy.
A phrase I never get to throw out there. So I was like, hey, Padre. It was really good. He walks over as we're playing Friends in Low Places, and I'm like, I feel really bad about this. Like,
and he said, without those people,
I don't have a job. So there's always that.
But yeah, and it was supposed to be an easier weekend. Corey had a nice, easy gig Friday. It was in Farmington.
Oh, how was that?
That was really good, right, Corey?
It was a nice time. Nice, easy, good time.
And I didn't even know that this 55 and older community existed. It's literally right behind the Hampton Inn in Farmington.
Oh.
There's a community, a lovely community. Like, I would live there. Like, if I sold this house and say, oh my God, I can't take this anymore. Or just wanted to get rid of Corey. Leave Corey. I would live there. That was a nice place. So yeah, so Saturday was good because we got to rest all day and I don't know if it was rest. We worked in the house instead all day and they did recording. But yeah, Sunday we were out of the house at 8:45 in the morning and we didn't get home until 2:08. So it was rough.
Yeah, I don't know how you guys do it, honestly, every week.
Listen, I don't know either.
Yeah.
This is all a miracle to me that I'm still going and I'm still here.
Yeah, that whole myth of the rock and roll thing being a lot of fun and maybe not. But
no.
Let's talk about the most important thing, the New York Yankees.
All right. There's a big smile on my face right now. I miss talking about baseball. It's been a while.
It has been a minute. By the way, Dave's not here, man.
Yeah, well, because and Dave, to his credit, will talk baseball, but that is not his favorite topic.
No, so
It's okay.
So he chose it for when he was away.
Yeah. Speaking of Dave, how did we do in the last episode? Because I won't lie, that was probably one of my favorite episodes to do.
That was a great. As of
over 1,000.
as of the Dilem stat bar.
Yeah, because I won't lie, that was probably one of my favorite episodes that we've ever done. Just having everyone in the same room, like it was flowing, good rhythm.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
I was into it.
Well, the next one will be the pool party.
Pool party.
Well, the beauty is I got that baby up to 82 degrees. It's very comfy in the pool. It's not much nicer in the pool than being outside right now.
Any chipmunks in the pool?
Yeah. So
to our knowledge, I don't know. Did we have any others? We hit over 1,000, by the way.
All right, that's good.
Well, every week, anytime you go over 1,000, it's good. And we go over 1,000 more weeks than not, and we've gone over 2,000 a few times, which is terrestrial radio.
Anyway, I digress. Let's talk about the Yanks.
So we're in first place. Pretty good.
Pretty good, yeah.
Which, considering we really only have 2 good hitters on the entire team.
Yeah.
Is pretty cool.
Honestly, yeah. I mean, even their infield, like they're pretty much injured. No Cabrera. It's been Bibas and LeMahieu. I mean, the fact we're still in first place, I'm shocked by that.
Yeah, no, I mean, we have basically a guy who's shot in LeMahieu, but he's hanging in.
He did have 4 hits yesterday.
And maybe this injury thing is finally over and he finds his bat again.
Yeah.
But, third base, shortstop, I mean, even with whatever, I mean, what do we got about between second, short, and third, and catcher? Let's throw that in there.
Yeah.
Are we batting 220?
Not really. I mean,
225 maybe?
I mean, you're waiting. I feel like you've just been nothing but patient with Volpe, hoping that he'd be able to be that guy, and he goes into a hot streak and then he slumps and then it's bad.
You could carry a guy like Volpe, but
yeah,
they have to have a third baseman and a second baseman that can hit.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't have either. So.
No, we don't. Well, I know Jazz is probably coming back shortly. I don't know what's the deal with Stanton.
Also, he can't hit.
But boy, can that boy dance.
He could dance, and he talks a lot of crap, but
you gotta love him. How do you not love that man?
Well, because he hits 200. I don't like players that hit 200.
Here, I will tell you one reason why we are currently in first place and 15 games over 500. Their starting rotation has been unbelievable.
And we'll talk about our fantasy baseball league team as well, but there's a reason why we're in first place, and 2 of those pitchers are part of the Yankees. And shockingly, the other 2 or 3 pitchers are on the Mets. So,
yeah. Oh,
who would have thought that?
I couldn't tell you, honestly.
But no, I mean, look, the Yankee starting pitching's terrific. The bullpen, it's like a box of chocolate. You kind of never know what you're going to get every night.
Pretty much, yeah. It seems like Devin Williams is more known as the 8th inning guy. Obviously, not a closer. And Luke Weaver has just been unreal, though.
Yeah, and what was Boone doing the other day when we're losing like 100-1 throwing Weaver in the game? I would have put an infielder in or somebody, put a catcher to pitch. When the hell are you throwing Weaver out there?
I don't understand why. First of all, that Saturday game was embarrassing beyond
what? How does that happen?
I don't know. They put Will Warren in. He couldn't even get out of the second inning.
That was a rec basketball league score.
Yeah, well, yeah, no. It was I'll tell you, Warren's got really good stuff.
I agree.
But and I think he is going to be a good pitcher. I mean, and usually I'm the one he sucks kind of guy. But
he was that guy who sucked last year. But I feel like he's definitely had some better moments this season. But obviously, he was completely overmatched with the Dodgers.
I don't know if it was just, hey, I'm going against the Dodgers and I whatever, but he didn't have it.
No.
And that puts Boone in a terrible position, obviously. He doesn't have a long man anymore. And it just got bad quickly. And he tried to let the kid work himself out, but there was no way. It was over.
No.
So, games like that, what are you gonna do?
It's gonna happen.
Oh, that was so nice.
That was really nice.
Hey, absolutely. And again, make sure you can find the link in the chat, whether you're watching on YouTube or Facebook. There's still time to donate, so please make sure you do. It's a great cause. I won't read through the entire thing on the feed, but I can also get you the information to the. Well, no, it's in the thing. Read the fundraiser thing. Go in there. It's all there.
It's there.
It's all there.
By the way, I had a really good shrimp po' boy yesterday.
I haven't had it.
It was so good. And
those tacos I had.
then the popcorn.
The popcorn. I can't stop about the popcorn. It's like those rolls.
It's like them rolls, yes. But it's funny now with the food trucks everywhere. Some of these food trucks are better than half the restaurants we go to.
Listen, Mexican food, I am convinced at this point, should be served off of a truck.
Is that how it goes?
I love a good
Street
food.
tacos are better.
No, I love a good food truck. Believe me, I do.
By the way, my daughter was in Texas all week.
Oh God.
So she was in Dallas. She got to see a Ranger game. And then she was in Houston, so she saw an Astro game as well. She did a little San Antonio Riverwalk, and she did the Austin, go music and comedy thing. But she said the worst meal she had was in San Antonio. Believe it or not, at a Tex-Mex.
Really? Oh God.
Yeah, she's like, oh man, the Mexican food. She's like,
she screwed up because do you know where where Tex-Mex as a food genre began?
San Antonio?
Dallas, Texas.
Well, yeah, but she was in San Antonio, had a bad meal.
Yeah, no, and she's lame. She should have gotten her Tex-Mex in Dallas, not San Antonio.
They went for ribs when they were in Dallas, and they did some barbecue. She mentioned though that New England's come a long way. we can match up. I mean, that's really the thing about traveling now, right? Every place has the same stores now, right? There's your Walmart, your Target, your Macy's. It's not the way it was back in the day. When I was a kid, it really was different going to Texas than being in Boston.
I still can't drink Lone Star here.
You still cannot drink Lone Star here.
Where's my Lone Star, Texas? We got that garbage Yingling over here. We can make. Can't we?
Oh, don't get me started with Yingling. Yingling sucks.
Well, as you know, I like the worst beer that you could possibly find. Yay, Steph.
We didn't scare you away last week.
It's all right. I'm actually going to be in Chicago in a couple of weeks.
Ooh.
Gonna catch 2 games?
No, we're only there for a day. Shannon's sister is actually moving to Leominster, Mass. So we're flying to Cleveland, but she's never been to Chicago, and she's been there for 3 years. So we're driving to Chicago, staying there for a day, driving back to Cleveland, staying overnight, and then driving all the way back to Connecticut the next day.
That's
good. Oh.
Okay.
A lot of traveling.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd rather stay in Cleveland, to be honest with you.
No, I went to Chicago 2 years ago, and beautiful area, great city.
If you go to the right places, it's a great city. If you walk 1 block away from the right places,
we were in the nice areas. We were in the nice areas the entire time, and I caught
the Magnificent Mile is called the Magnificent Mile for a reason.
Yeah, no. I actually
don't go to the Magnificent. Once that Magnificent Mile ends, 1.2 miles in, don't walk there.
Why?
Yes, Pope Leo is the. Are you going to go to see his original house now? I bet they make that like it's
probably a tourist attraction now at this point.
Yeah,
but no.
And aren't they going to replace the stadium? The Bears Stadium, I heard.
The Earth.
No clue.
It's the oldest stadium in the league. heard they were thinking
So-
about it.
It's about time. That thing has been there, since the 40s?
Well,
Bears
I'll tell you
fans
what.
haven't had a winning team in like 40 years, dude.
Yeah. Since Walter Payton left, it hasn't.
The Bears, unfortunately, but no.
The Bulls, the Bears, the
Speaking of baseball, I went to a Cubs game 2 years ago. The two starting pitchers were former Yankees. It was Jameson Taillon of the Cubs, and it was Jordan Montgomery of the Cardinals. So I'm like, oh, that's fun. That's interesting.
By the way, Taillon pitched for us one game last week.
Yeah.
I was also gonna say
briefly last week.
Yeah.
Well, I was gonna say Pope Leo was formerly of the Cardinals.
I see that. I knew that was going to pop up one way or another.
It's so not funny.
I am so sorry for digressing so much, by the way.
Hey, no, but Chicago, if you want to, Wrigley Field, I think we've told this story before. The last time we went to Wrigley Field and we went to a game, I like Wrigley Field. I've been there about 4 or 5 games here.
Gorgeous.
I even got to go once to the, the buildings.
Yeah.
We when I worked for this company, they had rented that out. It was buffet, and it was just so great. What a great way to see a game.
That's awesome.
But Wrigley I'm sorry, Red Sox fans. I know how much you like it. Wrigley Field is so much better than Fenway Park. And anybody who's honest, if you're honest, you cannot tell me that Wrigley isn't a much nicer stadium than Fenway.
Not wrong, honestly.
Right? Like, come on. The best Red Sox fan has to say that Wrigley Field is better than Fenway. But we got to see Mr. Barry Bonds the last time we were there.
Ooh, look at that.
How many home runs he hit, Cora, that day?
2. And it was 3 away after the game. He was 3 away from his record.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
That's cool.
I'd seen Bonds a few times. You have seen Bonds a few times, Corey. We just got lucky. It wasn't like I was following around Barry to go when we went to see this.
It just happened to be against the Giants.
Who have I seen more, though? Him or Carl Zambrano?
Oh, my God. Zambrano,
I don't know how. I have seen that man play so many times.
Well, I think we always see, we saw the Cubs a lot. We used to see the Brewers and the Cubs wherever we would go.
They just happened to be there.
That's pretty cool, though, honestly.
And speaking of Cleveland, that was Corey's first baseball game he ever went to, was at Jacobs Field against the Milwaukee Brewers, actually. And we lasted about 2 innings because Corey couldn't take the screaming. I think people next to us couldn't take Corey's screaming.
How old were you?
Oh, 2 years old.
Oh, yeah, no.
Barely human.
It got overstimulated, basically. That's what happened.
No, we were, typical Craig and Lisa. We look like we're good parents because we brought our kids everywhere. But let's face it, we just wanted to.
You
go.
brought your child to a baseball game.
Didn't we sound good? Like, wow,
you're the worst. The society, you're the worst.
The kids on a cruise. That's so great. You get to go with your parents. I'm like, no, they had camp on the cruise and it was cheaper. I mean, look, we spend breakfast together. We dump them off at the whatchamacallit, the camp on the cruise ship. We do whatever we wanted to do. We get them for dinner. We could bring them back. Then we'd go to the shows, have fun. And at 1 o'clock in the morning, I'd pick up Corey and Lisa would pick up Alicia and we'd bring them back to the room. It was great.
Good times.
But back to the Yanks.
Anyway, yes.
All right. So the first game, and this kind of reminded me of the World Series too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How do we lose the first game? We were killing them.
Bad bullpen management, as per usual, fortunately, with Boone.
And I got to say this, and you can ask Lisa Riemann. I saw the pitcher, and I said, Judge is going to pound this guy. I'm telling you right now, he's hitting a home run. This guy's made for Judge's swing. There we go.
First at bat.
And Goldschmidt had a good game, which was good because we need Goldschmidt to have good games. And then I had to leave. I forget what we were doing. I didn't get to see the end of the game. And all of a sudden, what happened? We lost that game, really? That was pathetic. The second game, that was just a terrible situation.
It was the game was pretty much over pretty much when it started.
But at least Judge hit some home runs.
21? 21 in a baseball game that didn't have a grand slam?
All right, so I thought you were talking about Judge. He's got 21 home runs, I think, also.
He's batting like 90
something. Yeah.
That's unreal.
Okay, so here's my problem, though. This is not with Judge, by the way. It's with, who I always complain about, Mr. Boone. When you have 21 home runs and you only have 50 ribbies, if you put him up, Trent Grisham is not a leadoff hitter, ladies and gentlemen. I need to expressly say that. He's got some power. He walks sometimes, but I will assure you, at the end of the season, his average will be a 215. I know it's gone from 360 down to about 240 something now. Watch, it will continue to shrink.
Yeah.
Please don't show
That's so legendary, by the way. Unfortunately, Boone's tenure as a Yanks is going to be summoned by that one picture right there.
So, all right, get that off the screen. It's annoying me.
But no, I see what you mean.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'd rather see Goldschmidt lead off. At least he gets on freaking base.
He is a good leadoff hitter.
You have a powerhouse like Aaron Judge, and you're giving him nothing to
knock in.
Nothing to BI. No R's to BI.
We got to get, and again, this is all Brian Cashman's fault. I don't fire Boone. I fire Cashman. And then whoever takes over should fire Boone. But that's that we haven't had a leadoff hitter for maybe one of the greatest hitters of all time. How is that even? Somebody's not doing their job. Well, obviously the leadoff hitter's not doing their job. Aaron Judge should be batting third, and we should have two guys to get on base at a 400 OBP. I don't care what you have to do to get those two guys. I don't care where they are, but you need two guys to get on freaking base. You have Aaron effing Judge. I just don't understand how we can't find this. And for every Yankee dumb fan that tells me Volpe, are you out of your mind? There we go. People are agreeing with me.
Volpe has been given so many chances in his third season. And like I said before, he hasn't been able to live up to it. I mean, he's always batting 230, 240. We know that he doesn't have a lot of pop at all, but at least defensively, he's somewhat there.
But even that, I know he won a Gold Glove. And again, this isn't me ripping Volpe. I want to live with Volpe, meaning get me a third baseman and a second baseman that can hit and field. Because Volpe won a Gold Glove, but he had 17 errors. We ran IKF out of town with 16 errors. And you know that I don't believe in D-WAR. I think it's the dumbest stat.
Anything involving WAR, I'm glad I can finally say this since I don't work for MLB Network. I fucking hated when we had to put that as a graphic. I'm like, it made no sense to me at all. I'm like, I don't care. This makes no sense to me. What makes you think that the typical fan is going to look at that and be like, oh, his D-WAR is high? No one cares about that. Let's be honest.
Yeah, potential? What? How do you have a statistic about something?
It's not a statistic, it's a metric.
Exactly. It's not real. It's It's bullshit. It absolutely no. There's no need for it. It doesn't tell you anything.
Every ball that you're going to tell me that Volpe can cover because of his great athletic ability, that's wonderful. But he makes tons of errors when he gets to those balls. There's a flaw in D-WAR. I know they'll tell you that Derek Jeter had the worst D-WAR in the history of Major League Baseball.
He's got.
But he won one season with only 5 errors, and then the thing is, well, if he doesn't get to any of the balls, I never saw Derek Jeter not get to something and say, or I don't remember watching him in the season and saying, "Oh my God, he doesn't get to the ball." You know what I saw? I saw these amazing jump throws that always got everybody out. I saw that whenever you needed the greatest play in the history of the world, Derek Jeter was there.
I saw a guy who was willing to take the time to get himself healthy when he said, "I wasn't doing the best I could do." I remember that too. A guy who didn't try to hurt himself to go.
He's got 5 Gold Gloves too, by the way.
That's right. 5 championships.
Yeah.
6th all-time hitting.
A smoking hot wife.
I would say GM, but he didn't do very well.
No, not a very good GM.
He was smart enough to dump Giancarlo Stanton on the
He gave us Stanton for nothing. So, I mean, that's not bad.
Best movie ever made. Miami, the Marlins should be like, thank you. Giancarlo hasn't played 20 games. Oh my God, that's another. So we got another thing. What's happening when he comes back?
Someone's gonna get the boot, and I swear to God, I hope it's not Ben Rice. I hope it's not.
Good kid.
Ben Rice is available as a free agent in our fantasy league.
I would pick him up. I mean, he's a good hitter.
Yeah, I was debating. He wasn't. We have players that I know are going to play, so I don't want. But yeah, I like Ben Rice. So, do you let him catch again a little bit?
I mean, knowing him, I feel like he would be open to wherever they would put him.
Because Austin Wells, I feel, is a really good catcher. I think he calls games really well. I know he, too, is a 210 hitter or 220 hitter. I don't know why I have a love for Wells. Probably because he's a catcher, and I don't expect my catcher to
He plays hard. He does know how to. Austin Wells could be one of the reasons why their starting rotation is probably so good because
that's exactly it. So I don't want to put a better hitter who can't call a game well. I mean, there's a reason that they moved Rice at a catcher.
Yeah.
Wells was the better catcher. So we know that Goldschmidt is here for a year. So do we just say, hey, look, we're going to let him DH. Giancarlo's not going to stay healthy anyway. No. Let him back up catch maybe once in a while. Let him play some first base. How about this? Why don't we give him a shot at third?
Ben Rice?
Yeah.
I mean, he has a catching arm. I mean, he might be able.
Probably got an arm.
I can see it.
Give it a shot.
Look, if he can't field, he can't field. But I'd start working him at third base. A lot of other catchers went to third base. Johnny Bench, ended up at third base. I'm trying to remember, but over the years, I remember John Stearns. I remember a bunch of guys who moved over to third. I mean, if you play
it's defensive playing. You're kind of in a very similar realm. You're not obviously not playing the same way, but you're in a similar position even on the field.
I feel if you could field first, and your arm is good enough because you're a catcher, why not give him a shot at third?
You pretty much said it there. Third is kind of this mix, skill wise, of your first baseman, and also this catcher side. You've got your third baseman there. He's the guy who can take something from being an absolute travesty to even just a mild disaster.
Well, I meant even last year, Jazz never played third base in his professional career, and they put him at third, and he did.
Okay. I mean, Jazz too. Jazz is a phenomenal athlete. That's what Jazz is the best athlete on the team. Is he a great baseball mind? No. He's got like Ricky Henderson flair, without the Ricky Henderson talent.
Yeah.
But
Do you
he's a
think
really-
he fortunately doesn't have Ricky Henderson brains?
No, I think
No, you.
I think Jazz is going to come back and play third base. To be honest with you,
It's possible.
I'm pretty sure if DJ's hitting, DJ's staying at second.
Well, that's his prime position anyway. I
Right.
feel like all these different position changes probably also fuck with
F him up too. Yeah, let him play second. You know what? He's fielding really well. So,
I've even noticed that, like, again, with even on the hockey side with the beer league, even, you know, you've got guys who can play multiple things. They can play forward, they can play D. Hell, they can play the net. And trying to find where they're very good, finding that one spot. You know, sometimes it's great to put them where it's, you know, it makes sense. But sometimes it's like, where do we put you today?
well, I think there's some guys. Look, even in a band, take Jack Tucker. Jack is a great musician, right? He's in the band. He's probably the best musician, bar none. He is the best musician.
Oh, yeah.
He plays bass because we need a bass player. And he happens to be a great bass player. But if I asked Jack to drum, he'd be a great drummer. And if I asked him to be the lead guitar player, he could do that. And if I asked him to be the keyboard player, he could do that. And he would do every one of those things really, really well. But he's one of those guys who's unselfish and says, hey, man, the band needs me most at bass. And I'm going to keep, you know, I can run the band from bass. Yeah. And I think there's baseball players like that. Look at Pete Rose. I mean, I don't like Pete Rose, but Pete Rose went wherever the team needed him.
Yeah.
I mean, he played every position on the field.
As long as hopefully in the end he went to hell.
I'm sure he did. I'm sure he did. But
yeah, see, I like the guys that are like the utility players. You put them basically anywhere you put them, give them a chance to win. Unlike that bum Stroman who just didn't want to pitch out of the bullpen.
He's an annoyance. First of all,
the dweeb.
He can't pitch after July 4th. If you see his numbers after July 4th, his entire career, he might be one of the worst starting pitchers ever.
He's always terrible, which I have no idea why.
What is the cricket noise about?
Him after July 4th.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, it's not. He pitches, and it sounds more like World War III. But you know,
who let me have this?
It was such a bad decision on my part. I've made a lot of bad decisions. Obviously,
having children being probably the.
Well, was your mother?
I do have a question. Since we're about 60 games into the season, do you miss Juan Soto?
No.
I kind of forgot he existed, honestly.
Isn't that the ultimate like revenge to that egotistical scum of the earth? Like, right. You know, he left the promised land thinking he was better than the promised land. And
I disagree with you. Look, to his credit, when he played in Washington, they offered him a $400 million contract. Way before anybody even heard of a $300 million contract, they were offering this guy $400 million. And this guy said, you know what? I can make more money if I just play. And all I got to do is play well. So God bless him. He put it all on the line and he kept playing. I don't hold it against him for taking $765 million. Come on. That's crazy money. And he's basically told you he's a hired assassin, man. He's got no loyalty. He doesn't have loyalty to anybody except the almighty dollar. But that's okay because he's told you that. I mean, anybody in the Yankees who thought he wasn't going to go to the highest bidder or thought they were going to get a sweet discount.
A discount? No.
That's not who that guy is.
He's no, he is. He can a horse.
Yeah, but he got double the money Aaron Judge got. Double.
I was about to say the Aaron Judge deal is pretty much a bargain at this point by the way he's been playing in the last 4 years.
Absolutely.
The Aaron Judge deal was the epitome of someone who actually loves the game and loves his freaking team.
No, he does. He loves being in New York, and
he rejected a 10-year, $400 million contract for the Padres just to stay in New York.
So, I think but he's a captain, and that's the way his makeup is. Look, Derek Jeter never took the highest amount. He always gave the team a bargain. Tom Brady. There's guys who want to be winners and really truly love their team and put everything in.
And that's what I don't like about Soto. You know what? He does. It's not in him. He's just there's just, and even when he was a Yankee, I didn't even like him. He's the guy who was too cool for school, didn't want to be a part of the team, there for his own. And again,
like him. Listen, when he was up, I was happy because I knew every time he was up, we had a chance to get a home run or he was going to get on base somehow.
He practically, him and Stanton were pretty much the only guys that led that team to the World Series.
Yeah, but and despite that, still, again, that doesn't speak to his. He always exuded just. I'm here because I need to be.
You know what? He wasn't a phony though. Like
no, by no means.
No. It's one thing if you're rah-rah team, this, that, and the other thing, and you talk all this bullshit, and then you go to the highest bidder, right? He didn't do that.
No.
He told you he was going to go where the most money was.
Exactly.
You know what? And that is one of the flaws of the Yankees. We have money system. Because you know what? Yeah, at the time, you know what a great investment. What a thing. But
they only had him for 1 year, and they figured, let's see what happens. But I'm gonna tell you something. There's been a lot of guys. Everybody loves David Cohn, right? We think of him as a Yankee, which is funny because he's a Kansas City guy. He won the Cy Young in Kansas City, and obviously he had his best years with the Mets.
Mm-hmm.
David Cohn had no loyalty whatsoever. Gave him the most money. Coney went there, even though he loved the Yankees and he loved the Mets and he loved Kansas City. Like he really does love all three teams. But he went where he got paid. But again, I don't think he ever
it never came off as he never betrayed anybody. And again, I don't feel betrayed by Soto by any means of the imagination. I just never liked him from the beginning. He just didn't. This is the New York Yankees we're talking about. No, and again, maybe I'm getting a little sentimental. Maybe no, but like to a degree, this is the New York Yankees. This is an organization that has always held themselves to a standard that no other team in the MLB has ever had. These are the New York Yankees, and he never carried himself in a manner that said, "I'm a New York Yankee."
Oh, that's not true. You're just you're a hater. You take after your grandma Ruth. It's just if Corey likes you, you're the prettiest girl in the world, even if you're ugly as sin. And if Corey doesn't like you, you could be a supermodel, and he will find every flaw that you possibly have.
Nah, know what? The reception he got at his return to Yankee Stadium was exactly what he deserved.
I mean,
the boos.
That's what he really disliked. There was another MVP in this series that we just played this weekend, and he did pretty good too.
Yeah.
So Corey, you're Ohtani, man. Look, you know what? Here's what I can say for the Dodgers. At least they're getting what they paid for.
Well, that you would hope so, right? Like you decide to ruin the game with spending an exorbitant amount of money like that.
Soto's not having a great year right now. Oh my God.
No. Not only is he having a bad year offensively, he's been dealing with a lot of stupid drama on the field, like not hustling in a game against the Red Sox, or the fact that who influenced his decision to go to the Mets. I'm like, well, everyone's like, oh, it's probably his money and the family and all that other stuff. I'm like, God, dude, shut the fuck up.
But Ohtani, to his credit, he was great last year. And he's just as great this year.
Yeah.
So, hey, maybe he gives him 10. If he can play 10 years at this level, I still don't think he's worth that money.
No,
I think no, he's gonna get hurt. The World Series was the proof in it.
he ended up playing still, even the fact that he did get
It's at the way end.
I know. The thing that always worries me about the whole Ohtani thing, yeah, we all know that he's a phenomenal hitter. What's going to happen when he goes back to the mound, though?
I don't think they're going to really do it.
They would be insane.
There's a reason Babe Ruth didn't play. He did stop pitching, too. If you got a guy that's going to hit 50 home runs and not get 140 every year, how stupid can you be to let him throw his arm out?
I was going to say, no, if Ohtani ever goes back to the mound, everything I've ever said about him is true.
Or no, that would be the Dodgers asking him to do it. I don't think he.
Yeah, no.
What I could see is, one of these World Series moments where, oh my God, we needed.
He's gonna go out. He's gonna do it. He's gonna pitch the game.
Yeah, one of those, movie,
Oh, like he was gonna close out the World Series, maybe.
Put me in.
Yeah,
Put me in.
We're Academy Award winning.
And him and Aaron Judge are gonna be facing each other with him at the mound, and
I don't think the Dodgers are gonna let him pitch.
No, I won't. I will admit though, I did the bug for the World Baseball Classic 2023 when Ohtani faced Trout. That was awesome though. That was a fun matchup.
He had good stuff. He pitched well. Again, when someone takes the contract and they're great, I say God bless, man. That's terrific. And to Soto and Judge too, because Judge did the same thing Soto did. He said, you know what, I'm turning down that contract. I want a bigger contract than what you're offering me, and I'm going to play through. And he took the chance, and God bless him, he did it too. So I'm never going to, what I don't like is when a guy quits after he signs the 10-year, $700 million contract.
Yeah.
I know what that no one can accuse Ohtani of. He is all about hustle. The dude.
He's playing, man. He's playing
and I won't ever say that he's lazy. I won't ever say that he does.
Soto's not as James said, he won't run out of ground balls sometimes. And he makes stupid plays in the outfield sometimes. Although against the Yankees, he made some amazing outfield plays. He really might not have hit that great, but oh my God, did he make some good fielding plays. So I think he had a little in him too. But I think the Yankees will win the division.
Oh, yeah. By the way, the other teams are playing, they definitely have this.
I think there could be a rematch in the World Series.
I also agree with that too.
I think the Yankees need to make at least one or two moves at the break.
Infielders, to be exact.
You got to get a third baseman, or
someone's got to rise into the position.
They don't have anybody that's good enough.
A good shake. You need a shake. An energy shakeup sometimes is what you need. If you've got too much good without enough great happening.
No, they need a real third baseman. And thing, I want another closer.
Really?
Necessarily. I want another
reliever.
I want another arm. Yeah, I want a big bullpen arm. What's his name's hurt? The guy we got from the Reds who was phenomenal.
Oh, Fernando Cruz. That was sad.
So anyway, let's go to the fantasy. We've
given
our Yankee. So for those who are Dilem-Monday people and have watched since we came back, there was a night. How many months ago, James?
I want to say that was 3 months ago. 3 months ago, like in March. I want to say
something like that. I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Corey and Cliff were doing the show normally, and James and I drafted our fantasy baseball team.
That was fun too. I actually had a great time with that.
It was, and we were trying to figure out, I don't know, should you read the book? Should I read the book? Yes, Team 28. It's so quick going back and forth. Look at that. See that thing right there? What it says? First.
Oh, first place right now. I'm sorry. The thing is small right now. That's why I have to kind of get in there.
So yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We're 110 and 66 and 13. So
Okay. All right.
we've only lost one game this entire season.
Yeah.
We've won some very small, but we've had some giant victories. Like last week, we won like 16-2 or something, or 3. We've had 3 like blowouts, and when we've lost, or we were neck and neck, and it was only one game that we've lost all season. So,
there was the 1 week where we were about to get decimated, and I don't know what happened.
I made
everything.
Some moves, baby.
You made some moves, and everything turned around.
Yeah, I said, Corey, there's no way we're gonna win this week. It's
we
Sunday
woke
night.
up at we
It was
wake
Sunday.
up in the morning.
It was Sunday, and I was like, dude, I'm gonna do this, and this with our lineup. I saw that we needed like 3 or 4 steals. We needed some runs, so I grabbed some guys off the waiver wire. I dropped some of our other guys. I said, all right, let's just go for it. Every guy did what we needed that day. Like everything happened. Even like we needed a quality start. We got 2 quality starts. We needed like 2 saves. We got 2 saves. We needed 3 or 4 stolen bases. We got it all and it was the guy I picked up, which was even crazier. So for those of you guys who've never played fantasy, there's all kinds of drafts and there's all kinds of leagues. There's some American League only, there's some National League only, and then there's some combination leagues. Then there's where you can make pickups every day, and then there's some you have to stick with your team the whole year. Our league is you can make pickups up to 6 pickups a week. It's every player. And James and I, it's pretty lightning round, right? When that comes.
It was very, very fast, especially when people took the players that we wanted and we had to think of a plan B.
Yeah, and it's you realize you gotta field your positions. And we were in like what were we picking, like 5th or 6th, something like that? I think we were 5th.
I think it was like 6th.
Yeah, and 6th might be the worst spot to pick.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of, I think there's only 12 teams in our league, right? So the first person obviously gets 1 first-round pick. Number 12 gets 2 picks.
Yeah.
They get 12th and the 13th. So if you're like 6, you're getting all the middle of everything. So our first pick was Jose Ramirez, right?
Yeah.
Who's been very good.
He's always been good, though. That's like
consistent.
Yeah, and he, in fantasy, the key is to get at least what you thought you were going to get out of the guy you drafted.
Mm-hmm.
I found that's first. Health is extremely, just like any other thing, if you get guys that are healthy. Then the next thing is working that waiver wire. Finding that guy, even if it's only for a few weeks, finding that guy that's going to hit 500 for 3 weeks. Getting, for whatever reason, they get hot and you just put them in and know when to dump them.
Yeah.
And we also got lucky. We picked Alcantara, as you said, who we took a big risk on. In the first 2 weeks, he looked like he was going to be a Cy Young again.
And then now
was
he 2-7, like 8.45
yeah,
ERA?
he's getting lit up.
That's really sad him to pitch well.
So he stunk. And then we picked that other guy on the Braves that had great stuff.
Oh, Ronaldo Lopez.
Yeah. So that was James and Art. That was the 2 that we picked as like, let's take a shot. We lost.
But then we also got Mr. Freed and Mr. Rodon.
That's
who
right.
have been phenomenal this season.
So Those two were phenomenal picks.
I'm so shocked. The fact that I can say that I trust Carlos Rodon now.
As long as you put him, get that off the screen more. As long as he is in Yankee Stadium, he's a phenomenal pitcher.
Even on the road, I mean, the last start he had against the Angels, I mean, I know it's the Angels, but he was still 7 shutout innings.
When he gets a left-handed lineup, he can do some major damage. So then we have the 2 other crazy picks.
Yeah.
Now, anybody that has ever listened to this program, and especially last year, if you would have heard my remarks about one Clay Holmes.
Oh my God, what a gamble that was.
And James and I, we talked it over and we said, if the Mets think he's going to be a star, because Clay Holmes has good stuff.
He's got great stuff. When he's pitching well, he's got great stuff.
Yeah, and in a bullpen, I think it was that he always just threw. He got tight and he would walk people all the time. Watch Devin Williams. That was Clay Holmes last year. So, but as a starter, we talked it over and we said, what do we have to lose? He's been fantastic.
I can't believe I even have to say that right now. Who would have thought he goes to the starting rotation and he's actually reliable?
Well, who would have thought the best part of the Mets right now is his starting pitching?
I thought they were starting. I literally said at the beginning of the season, their starting rotation is shit. It's so
and we
bad.
picked 2 of their starters. The other guy, one of our last picks, was David Patterson.
Peterson, yeah. Yeah, well, I knew he was going to be good. He was good last year.
So our 2 Mets and our 2 Yankee pitchers have really been great. And then I pick up, what's his name, at least once a week from the Mets. What's it, Maya, with an M. He's like a 36-year-old journeyman who's having his best year he's ever had in his life.
Starting pitcher?
Yeah.
Marte?
No.
I pick up every week. At least once.
Let's see. It's not Tyler McGill. It's not.
Yes.
Oh, him? Really?
I knew it was an M. Tyler McGill. I pick him up every week. He has pitched at least. I think he's been on a team every single week. I pick him up and I dump him immediately. And then we got the Casey from the Tigers who got hurt and came back.
Oh, Casey Mize.
Yeah, and I can't even tell you the names of our bullpen guys, but they've been terrific too. We have one guy from the Twins. We have a guy from Cincinnati. We picked up a bunch of guys who get saves.
Yeah, pretty much.
And everything, fantasy baseball is stats. I don't care if you like a player. It has nothing to do with that. In our league, it's all about points.
Yeah.
Hence what Corey showed you. We have the most points.
Yeah.
We're playing for categories. And James did a really good job because you were looking up a lot of the guys.
Mm-hmm.
And we just back and forth. All right, what do you think about this guy? All right. And then we go off the board and like, fuck.
I was trying to remember from last year too. Because obviously I know like if they had a great season last year, they're probably extra confident coming into this season. But no, I'm glad we're in first place right now because I had no idea. Also, I had no idea about our batting lineup too. I was like a little iffy on a couple of the choices, but
we got Goldschmidt, who's had a great season.
All right, I'm wrong about Goldschmidt. Okay, he's been phenomenal. I had no idea who's going to be this good.
Yeah, but we got him. He was like one of our last picks. But yeah. I was like, let's do it. I mean, what we got to lose?
Batting like 600 against lefties. It's like unbelievable.
And the guy who's been a bum is what's his name? The catcher on Baltimore.
Rushman? Yeah, he sucks.
Oh, what a disappointment.
No, I wanted him to do well too. That's the thing.
And then you know what even pissed me off worse? Last year I picked Will Smith, and he sucked. And this year he's having a freaking all-star damn MVP season.
And this is the story all about how his season got flipped, turned upside down.
No, I don't understand. Will Smith, what happened? Hey, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, Rushman's been a disappointment.
Don't we have Schwarber, by the way?
Yeah, Schwarber, it does exactly what you drafted him to do. He's got a 400 OBP.
Does he have like 20 home runs already this season?
Like 199, exactly what you expect him to do. Schwarber, that's another good pick, though.
Yeah.
You know, he is today's baseball. He's a weird, weird player. He knocks in runs, scores runs, and walks a lot. And he hits a ton of homers. He just doesn't get base hits.
Yeah, he is who I wished Joey Gallo was when he was on the Yanks.
Well, that's what they tried to sell us.
Yeah.
Another miss by Cashman. Schwarber was available. Did we get him? No.
Nope.
We did not.
Hey, Mom, I want Schwarber. We have Schwarber at home. Joey Gallo.
No, instead we settled for Josh Donaldson and IKF.
And again, IKF we didn't treat right.
Nah, he got screwed, basically.
Yeah, I mean, the guy gave you 100% every single night. He played every position you asked him to play. He could have caught too, by the way.
And he was a great pitcher. He was actually not a terrible pitcher too when they put him in.
Like we just didn't treat IKF right. And again, we made Volpe this superstar and gave him a Gold Glove. Meanwhile, he had one more error than IKF did. And mind everybody, IKF won the Gold Glove at third base the season before. So
yeah,
I don't know. And I know all you D-Ward nerds are gonna
the analytics. I don't believe in analytics. I believe in what I see.
Yeah.
And know what I saw? We got IKF.
He was good. He wasn't bad. I mean, you know, he's on the Pirates now, and you know, he'll be one of those. He's like James said, he's that utility guy that every team could use.
Yeah.
So yeah, you know, I always like those kind of guys. I think that's those guys are difference makers, and the Yankees always had that. Yeah, Cody Bellinger's been pretty good.
He's been a lot better recently.
Once he got healthy, he started hitting. Dominguez, we still don't know who the hell this guy is.
No.
I don't know if he's good. I don't know if he's overrated. I don't know if he's going to be a star. I mean, 1 minute he looks terrific. You know, I don't want to give up on a guy like that, certainly.
I'm not giving up. No. I never gave up on Bellinger.
Yeah, no. You know. But the starting pitching is where this team lies, and Aaron Judge. I mean, the beauty is that Aaron Judge can carry you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, and
Big strong man.
if Stanton comes back, I don't know.
It's a tough
You know,
That's going to be a tough,
that gets
it's a tough decision, basically.
Yeah. Can't have enough good players. Is Peraza going to get waived?
I don't know.
Of course, waived already. He's out. He's gone. Peraza's gone.
That sucks because it was Peraza and Cabrera. Like those were the guys I really, really, really were rooting for too. Like I wanted them to do something, but Peraza just can't hit in the big league level.
And it's weird because he looks sometimes like he can.
Yeah, exactly.
I
mean, he's got big time pop. When he hits home runs, he hits them high, deep, and very far.
Yeah, no, he does. He does, and that's the shame.
You went full announcer there.
What? Oh,
I
James.
did. No, I did. High, deep, and far.
And he will go high, deep, and far. There it is.
Well, I mean, I did go to school for that.
I mean, true, touche.
Yeah, just never
What?
become Bob Costas.
No, absolutely not.
Pompous asshole.
Bob Costas, if English teachers announced sports.
Ugh. That was a guy, when I was a kid, he did the baseball game of the week with Tony Kubek. For those who don't know, Kubek was a shortstop for the Yankees, and he used to do it. And, Kubek was the star and Costas was the other guy. And somehow along the way, Bob Costas he started believing his own BS, which I think what happens to a lot of guys. At first they truly loved the game and they did all this stuff, but Costas, it's like, dude, just call the game. I don't want to hear your crap. I remember I couldn't stand listening to Tim McCarver call a game either.
Oof.
Do you guys remember Tim?
Mm-hmm. Him and Joe Buck.
Oh my God. It was brutal listening to him do a game. I know a lot of people didn't like. I always liked Miller and Morgan.
Oh,
No, you didn't like those guys?
No, those were the best Sunday nights.
Oh, okay, thank you. Yeah, I like those guys.
Those were the best. I missed them so much. And then when they kept on changing the announcers for Sunday Night Baseball, and then it just wasn't the same anymore.
Yeah, I thought like Morgan gave you I thought he was like the most honest and knowledgeable guy, and I love Miller's voice.
Oh, I love his voice. He still does. For the Giants.
Right? Yeah, he still does the Giants. What a great voice. Morgan, may he rest in peace too.
Oh, he was great.
Joe was great. I used to like when Johnny Bench would do stuff. Tom Seaver was a great announcer. When Tom Seaver with Phil Rizzuto was one of the great announcing combinations of all time.
Isn't that two of your favorite just players in general?
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously I never saw Rizzuto really play, but the Scooter was great. And Seaver knew how to make fun of him, but bow to him as well. It was like he was with his great uncle playing, calling the game with them. He would let Scooter embellish stuff, and he would leave him. He would give him the leads for Scooter to do what he needed to do. Yeah. And may he rest in peace too, Tom and Scooter. They were great.
If there was one announcer that I wish I had the opportunity to listen to a game, it was definitely Phil Rizzuto. I just love the way he carries himself. I loved his voice. I loved when he was just that funny guy, and I wish I had the opportunity.
Can I play my favorite maybe my favorite Bob Costas clip?
Oh God.
No, go ahead.
Oh, I think I might know. I'm not gonna say it though.
It's not Bossio this time, it's Madden, and that means a change.
That is not what I thought he was gonna.
Well, why was that?
Mott is on his way in. Strope is on his way out.
That was the
pointing toward the heavens. We can only ask or wonder that he is asking some departed relative for forgiveness for this atrocious performance.
I remember that. Mm-hmm. That was the one I thought you were going to play. The first thing you did, I'm like, okay, no, I don't know what this is. I'm like, okay, that makes more sense.
Bob Costas getting messy, as the kids would say. He was getting messy with that one. Looking to some departed relative as though to ask for some kind of forgiveness for the atrocious.
You never heard Howard Cosell do a game.
I wish I did, honestly.
Howard was just...
James, I understand the answer that you gave about Phil Rizzuto. But if I had to personally, Corey Riemann, give my personal choice as to listening to a live announcement, I probably myself would have chosen not Bob mother. You had me go. Oh my God!
Stop drinking. You're a buffoon. Keith he would do games. Him and Keith Jackson. Keith Jackson had one of the great voices also. But he did some games with Jim Palmer also.
Yeah.
I love that he took the. I love that he took the opportunity to use the death of John Lennon to shit on Paul McCartney. John Lennon, perhaps the most famous of all of the Beatles, shot in front of his apartment at the Dakota this evening. Wow, that's just what did you have against Paul, George, and Ringo? My God.
Listen.
Perhaps the most famous of all the Beatles.
You know what?
Also, dude, there were only 4 of them.
You know which color commentary I really miss listening to? I miss Kent Singleton. I loved listening to him.
He had the nicest voice.
And he was a phenomenal play-by-play guy, too. I loved him when he called the games.
I would just laugh when they would show his hair, that wig of his that he was wearing. It was just so terrible. I was like, dude, there's no way your hair is still black. And you're as bald as can be. That is just a terrible wig. By the way, Bob Costas, your wig is ridiculous. Please stop. You're an embarrassment. I mean, what's his face? From the Nick announcer, the brothers.
Van Gundy?
No.
I heard Knicks, so that was like the first thing.
The original. Oh my God. I need Lisa right now. Him and his brother and the Musburger, not Musburger. That's Brent not Brent. I love Brent Musburger, by the way. I thought he was a great announcer. Marv Albert. Marv. He was terrific. Unfortunately, he got in some trouble because he evidently liked some sadomasochistic stuff.
Oh.
Yeah, no, he liked fighting women.
Marv.
But his toupee was horrific. It was so terrible. So was Cosell's, for that matter.
You will not insult the hairpiece of Howard Cosell. You want to know my favorite?
The episode of the
Odd Couple.
Yes. I do remember that episode.
Unger, you're an inane drone.
Do y'all know my favorite Albert?
Steve?
No. Herb Albert.
Herb Albert. All right. I was like, she's hot. She's probably
I was gonna say she's old enough to be your mother. I think she's also dead now. Which is very weird when you think about like these like beautiful people who are now like,
as I mentioned her every single episode. So, you know, it is what it is. What time is it?
It is 9:15.
We got 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Flying by, making it through, making it happen.
What was I going to say? Oh, there's one thing I do remember about Cosell in the Odd Couple episode. I remember he was talking to some kid and he like remembered like the player's name based off the jersey. I'm like, that always like stood out to me a lot.
You know, Cosell, my father, by the way, my dad, my father hated Cosell.
Oh,
he would turn the sound off. He goes, he would just get mad. You'd see his face would just start getting red. And he'd be like, oh, this goddamn guy, shut the fuck up. And he would be so annoyed. Oh my God, when he did Monday Night Football, oh, my father, he had him and Dandy Don Meredith doing the games, GIF. Oh, it was brutal. At least in boxing, I think his best sport was boxing, announcing. Although, again, sometimes if he liked you,
Muhammad Ali,
he could definitely make it sound better than it was. And with Ali, actually, sometimes he was actually, even though they were I don't know if they were actually really friends, but they certainly were each other's.
Ali had a few. Ali had a few guys in the media that
Cosell was the guy.
What,
Cosell, he did everything. But when Cosell,
him and Dick Cavett too. He also had a very close. Good.
Cosell was the one that would do the games and would do the matches, and Howard. He knew how to get the most out of Muhammad because he would annoy him sometimes. He would be like, "Sheriff, you know, we all have seen that your declining skills are almost embarrassing at this point. Please tell us that you will not fight again." He'd go, "Howard, I'm going to take you right now and I'm going to beat the living daylights out of you, Howard." And he would mess with his fake toupee and,
Was Howard Cosell the McLaughlin of sports?
Yes. Well, he was a lawyer.
On a scale of 1 to infinite destruction, Ali, do you think you can present yourself in such a manner?
First of all,
well, I believe wrong.
There is no one who picked Muhammad Ali to beat George Foreman. In that match in Zaire, Ali was, he was starting to get a little out of shape. He was a little puffy. He had him and Joe Frazier, the Ken Norton stuff. He'd been beaten a few times, and he wasn't the same guy. And George was just an animal. I mean, George, what he hit, he broke. But Muhammad just outsmarted him. He didn't outbox him; he outsmarted him. But I think
he was a better fighter.
Certainly that day he was smarter. But here's the problem: did that cause the Parkinson brain damage?
Oh, yeah.
It's possible.
He took shots. I mean, should have
done. Well, that was Ali's whole. Well, that was his whole thing. The whole rope-a-dope. Take as many shots as you need to take, and then wait for them to tire out. But yeah, as a result, the amount of trauma his brain, whether or not it caused the Parkinson's or just exacerbated it.
Between the 3 Joe Frazier fights, especially the Thrill in Manila, that was brutal. I mean, Frazier never told anybody. He got blind. He never got his sight back after that fight in the one eye. Oof. He was totally blind from that fight. I mean, those guys left it on the floor. I mean, and to Cosell's credit, at the end of his life, he stopped doing boxing because of what he saw happen to these guys, that Muhammad Ali, Joe Frazier. Cosell actually, we got to step
back here, because if this is going to be the sport, we're going to kill young men. We're going to ruin these guys' lives.
Cosell, to his credit, he and again, look, I love boxing. I love MMA. Whatever. I wouldn't want my kid to do it. It's ridiculous. You can end up mush.
I was about to ask you, as a former football player and a new great uncle, do you want your great nephew to play football?
Here's what I'll say about playing football. It does teach you how to be a man. It really does. And you learn how to work well with others, and you learn how to dig in from deep. And I think that once you get past high school, though, it becomes a whole different game.
Mm-hmm.
And especially on a D1 level, on someone that, you're going against big, strong, powerful men. God forbid on the pro level. When they tell you, I think the average mortality rate, if you play over 4 or 5 years, is something like 60. It might even be lower than that, low 50s. I don't know, man. I don't think it's the best choice in the world. Learn how to swing a baseball bat or throw left hand.
And I'm gonna ask this: do you ever have moments that where you feel like there's something going on that was an effect of something, again, at this point 40 years ago, from something that happened when you were playing like, do you ever have brain fog or like any of these like post concussion
Well, look,
untreated. Like,
here's the thing. I definitely played with concussions, okay? But I also got mugged and beaten to a pulp, beer bottle over my head and smashed into the floor a few times. So I think sometimes when I can't come up with a name, like before when I can't come up with Marv Albert, who I know my whole life, I think possibly between sports and maybe that's why I can't do it. We have that momentary and you can't come up with the person's name, or I'm 60 years old and just part of life, but I think I had that same problem at 25. So I really can't say it's got any worse or better.
And again, I apologize for putting you on the spot with a question like that, but it genuinely, like, it's brain injuries are a scary thing. It's the one thing that and again, God knows I'm, barely a coach at that, but the one thing that always scares me, the one thing that I will really jump into coach mode is with head injuries, guys hitting the ice, making sure that guys aren't going out and trying to be stupid and trying to be a hero for beer league. Brain injuries are scary. That stuff is nothing to be messed with. That is so sensitive and so delicate.
Look, you're going to take a few shots every once in a while. It is what it is.
I think it's an inevitability.
When I was in third grade, I think I told you this one, playing Little League, coach said, go coach first base, which, what are you, stupid? You had an 8-year-old coaching first base. And one of my friends, Richard York, I'll never forget, he was swinging batting practice and he didn't see me and he stepped into it, smashed me right in the face.
Oh,
right on my forehead. And
oh my God.
So my mom and dad, my dad especially, probably never missed more than one game ever. Neither parent were there at this one. My head, like seriously, I had a baseball sticking out of my skull.
Yeah, sticking into it too.
Yeah, it was just, and here's the thing. Today they would have had the ambulance.
You would have been.
They would have had this whole big thing, young man gets hit in the face with a baseball bat. Dude, I went out in the outfield and played for a little bit of time. I just remember I couldn't see anything. I was like, yeah, sure, coach, I'll go out there. And
it's one of the three of them.
I was a bad fielder, it didn't matter. So anyway, I know Corey, but James, if you ever had, when you have the concussion, my mother gets.
I did. I remember when I fell on that amp the one time.
Oh God! What?
Yeah, we were down here. I slipped on a cable, and I hit the back of my head on an amplifier, and that was not fun. It was a whole thing. I fell over. It was not good.
Because you got to make sure that they don't throw up in their sleep and.
No,
and those things.
I've been fortunate to not have any concussions. I also didn't play sports because my mom was worried that the coach was going to yell at me and I was going to start crying. I was also athletically challenged as well too, and I'm still challenged today. So that's why I stick to talking about it.
I was literally about to say, and this is why we talk about it and don't play it.
No,
other than bocce.
Oh yes,
yes, world champion.
Anyway, we should probably talk about
actually. Lest it be forgotten, the Prince Thomas of Savoy Society does have a Guinness World Record for the longest bocce match ever held.
How long?
I have no idea. I just know it's like the long. I know it's like the longest Guinness, and like it's a real thing. It's like there's the sign outside the Italian club that actually has it on there.
All right. Let's go over what time is it now?
It is now
probably
9:25. Yes.
So we should probably go to the end of what we are going to be doing at the end of our next week. James, what are you promoting?
I was gonna say, is this my album of the week moment?
Yeah, I mean your new formatted part of the show.
Do I need to know what the album of the week is? Or?
Go ahead.
So
here, what is your album choice? Oh, God.
Since we were talking about the Yankees, I decided the album of the week. The back cover features Mr. Liberty DeVito.
Ah, yes.
In a Yankee jersey. that album is The Stranger by
My
Billy
favorite
Joel.
Billy Joel album.
Who has a brain injury right now?
And prayers to Billy Joel that may the water.
It's like,
No, he'll be
I think
good.
he's gonna be fine. He just has fluid in his brain right now. So.
But yeah, I mean, you can't get a bet like off of one album. Like we're talking about half of this man's greatest hits album. Moving Out, The Stranger, Just the Way You Are, Scenes from an Italian Restaurant, Only the Good Die Young, She's Always a Woman, Get Right the First Time Everybody Has. Oh my God, this is a no skip album. This is no skips.
Crispy Brinkley, and even if it was just
this is these are the songs that got him with Christy Brinkley. This is how he got with the Uptown Girl.
Listen, God bless.
Yeah.
Little Jewish Mishkite with this gorgeous 6-foot blonde. Oh my God, made by. She's still ridiculously beautiful.
She is.
She is. She's still phenomenal.
It's not fair.
Yeah, no, that's crazy. But all right. What are we promoting, James?
Besides the fact that The Stranger is probably one of my favorite albums of all time. Anyway, yes, Common Everyday People, latest episode. We talk about what decade had the greatest movies, which was very, very hard, by the way. And I said the 90s. That's what I said.
Ooh.
Which was hard because I texted my dad and he said the 70s.
The 90s and the 70s had a lot of parallels, I think. Well, no, you had both decades. You had kind of the old guard was kind of starting to move away, and then you had young guys. You had Tarantino, you had the Coen brothers kind of coming in, just kind of like in the 70s, how Scorsese was coming into his own, and Coppola and Lucas were all coming into their own as the young guys moving away from old Hollywood. The 90s kind of had a little bit of this. You look at pieces like Pulp Fiction, you look at pieces like Good Will Hunting, you see this new era arising.
You're so boring. No. I agree with your father, but I'm your father's age, so that's why we probably both the 70s.
Yeah.
My feeling and I'll give 2 seconds. I would. Movies were changing in the 70s to first go the high tech. You started having Earthquake, which had the rumbling, walls, and you had Towering Inferno, which by the way had O.J. Simpson in the movie. And you had your Star Wars and those type of things all coming out, and Spielberg's movies, Close Encounters and
the Serpicos and like the Dog Day Afternoon, The Godfather,
Rocky.
This is my point.
One of the great movies of all time. Papillon, what a great freaking movie. No, so I again, it's because of my age, I'm sure, but I feel like the 70s forever changed the way movies were made because you started getting that high tech and that, that's how we started getting to where movies are today.
These guys learned to walk so these guys could run sort of situation.
Yes, that's why I'm kind of saying the 70s as well. To me, the 90s, just bad music, bad movies.
I mean, 90s had some
movies of the 90s. Yeah.
Goodfellas, Pulp Fiction, Shawshank Redemption, Good Will Hunting, Terminator 2. I could just keep going on and on and on.
Good Will Hunting.
What?
Good Will Hunting's such a great movie.
It is, yeah.
It's so good. By the way, before we started the show, Lisa has now watched We Bought a Zoo like 40 times.
I love that movie.
Such a good movie.
We bought a zoo.
It's so cute. I like it. All right, Corey. What is
here real quick. I will be Dave for the moment here. Dave, I'll promote Dave Sheehan Comedy. Dave has gigs coming up tonight, June 7th, June 10th, June 22nd. you could check out for anything further. You could check out Dave Sheehan Comedy today. Figured he'd appreciate the shout out while he's out doing his thing, doing comedy. I know we might miss him for a couple weeks.
Doing this week?
I know that on Friday I will be doing a private show at the Frederick Gun School. Saturday afternoon I will be at Two Roads Brewing Company for bikes and beers. It's going to be fun. There will be bikes, there will be beers, and later that evening we are going to be at Bishop's Orchard for a fun show with Ryan Newman's going to be joining us.
Yeah,
so
that's going to be fun. So we actually have 3 different guitar players this week, right?
Oh God, that's horrible. And for more information, you can check out the dilemmaband.com.
Who's Friday night? Is that Pete?
Is that Pete? Did we get Pete for the gun? Yeah, I believe we got Pete for the gun school. I'm gonna have to call Pete tomorrow. Sweet Pete.
I'm pretty sure you booked Pete for Friday.
Yeah, Pete's Friday. Schultz is Saturday morning. Ryan Newman's Saturday night. There's a lot of 6-string switcheroo going on.
Well, this week we had Davey Blues. Last weekend we had Brother Dave. We've it's funny that the one question we always get, how do you guys play all these shows? And I've said I don't ask who's available. I see if Corey's available. And if Corey's available, I book the show. Because we're fortunate enough to have such great musicians that
we have coverage.
Yeah, we have coverage for anything. So, kind of like the Grateful Dead in the sense you never know what show you're getting. Our shows are different every single time. They really are, because Mike drums most of the time, but you might get Cal, or you might get Jimmy, or you might get Dom. And that they are different drummers. And whether Schultze, Brother Dave, Ryan, Cliff,
any of them.
Any of those 5 great guitar players, but they all play differently. And then you get Corey, you never know what the hell you're going to get either. Jack, you know what you're going to get. Jack's just going to be steady and perfect and in the pocket and keeping it all together. You might even get Graz every once in a while. So, it should be fun this weekend. And you never know what other gig might show up all of a sudden. So,
you never know what you're going to get with it in life. There are surprises. Stay safe, everybody.
Wait, what? Let me, because you did mention so 2 things. Saturday, someone I've known for a very long time. My sister's mother-in-law had passed away on Saturday. She was 84 years old. She's someone I've known for 84 years. I've known her for 38 years, not 84, for 38 years. And, it was really sad, starting to think about it. She was the last of all our parents that passed away. So, my parents are gone. My Lisa's parents are gone. And now Jason, he's my brother-in-law, his parents are gone. But we had a really wonderful thing the next day. My sister and brother-in-law became grandparents. So he lost his mom, but he became a grandpa the next day. My nephew, Brandon, is now a proud dad, and which is really cool. So we saw the whole Lion King, the circle of life, transpire, and that was really neat. And it is also now today. My sister, she just does everything in this little group.
This week.
So June 2nd, my other nephew, who got married last year, Brandon's brother, Logan, it is his birthday. Happy birthday, Logan. It is my sister's anniversary. Happy anniversary.
Oh, my God.
And wait, she graduated college on June 2nd as well. I remember I was working at Standard Register, and I walked over, and we had dinner at the top of the Sixes. My parents took us out to the top of the Sixes, which was kind of cool. So, my condolences to the Zopels, but
I was going to say, in general, just so much love to the Zopels.
Yeah, for everything. They've had you guys deserve. for weekend. That's
I don't think you could possibly have a crazier week full of every single emotion absolutely possible, but you know, and I'll add my personal, you know what, Gail was not my grandma, but she was always Grandma Gail to me, and she was a true American original. She was a true character, and the flavor the flavor to life that she added for all of us is going to be so missed. So so much love to you. Miss you, Gail. Miss you, Jeff. You guys were great. Thank you for being always so wonderful to me in my life. So I major love. And with that in mind, everybody, please send love to everyone. Tell people that you do love them. Let them know how you're doing. Find out how they're doing, and please enjoy every single sandwich. We will catch you next week for another Dilem-Monday. Thank you guys so much for a great broadcast.